I'm ready.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome to another episode of Tank's Treasure Box, hosted by yours truly, Tank Jones. Today is a really good day. As you can see, I'm doing my best Bruce Leroy impression. If you're not sure who that is, Last Dragon. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. One of my favorite movies from the late 80s. But right now, I'm standing with a man who is actually one of the best PR guys in Arizona. He's a great party planner. He started his career off as a DJ, but now he's doing all the big parties. We'll talk about that in a minute.
Sounds good.
But without further ado, my man, Mr. Steve Levine. How are you, sir?
I'm good, thanks, Tank.
Cool. Thank you very much for inviting us into your place. Thank you for agreeing to do this interview. It actually means a whole lot to me.
Absolutely.
So, Steve, I tell all of my guests, we have a formally informal process, okay? So we're just going to jump into it. Where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Northridge, California. We're famous for the big earthquake, but yeah, so Los Angeles, northern Los Angeles, that's where born and raised.
I have a house in Canoga Park. Were you there when the big one hit?
I absolutely just missed it, and
nice.
My family was there. My house, obviously damaged, but yeah, Canoga Park neighbors, man. Right
Yes,
down the
sir.
street, yeah.
Right down the street.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Did fond memories growing up? Family important back then?
Yeah, I mean, family. They're all dispersed now all over California, but family for sure. I mean, grew up. Everything from sports, music. Started DJing when I was a kid and just out of high school, and yeah, so a lot of memories. And Granada Hills High School.
Wow, you get back much?
I actually just came back, but yeah, it's I don't. The one thing I do not miss is traffic.
Right, tell me about it.
It's the worst. So we have 15 minutes of traffic. They have 15 hours of traffic daily. So yeah, we're good.
Okay, so I'm in class with young Stevie. Elementary, middle school Stevie.
Yeah.
What kind of kid am I hanging out with?
Wow. I was in the principal's office a lot.
No.
I was an overachiever. I definitely always wanted to be the best. I was a leader, but I definitely was outgoing, and I was just like today. I'm the life of the party. I was the life of the classroom, and I had a good time, and not so much on the negative side, but it was a great experience, and I really enjoyed my class.
Stevie made his impression in
class. Yeah, of course, I did.
Your best piece of advice or most memorable moment, or one of them, growing up as a kid that maybe still impacts you to this day?
I got into music, and I got my. I went to concerts as a young kid, and I think that's really shaped me for where I am, and just the fact that I fell in love with music at such an early age, learning how to play the drums, and then from that I started going to concerts, and I got treated very well going to concerts, and got to some experiences that you shouldn't have as a kid, whether it was buying backstage passes on the side of the street or whatever it was. Some of that was just such a cool experience that it kind of said, like, I got to do this forever. Now that I see myself doing that with my own kids now, it's like, yeah, so we don't always get to sit in the first 5 rows, so let's get used to sitting in the back, and so it's fun just going to those shows. I remember seeing Boys to Men and Beastie Boys and Guns N' Roses, Rolling Stones, and Living Color. Being at the Coliseum, 100,000 people. That stuff plays on you for life, and it's and to me it's like, I can be on that stage. That never happened, by the way, but instead I'm throwing the party that's on the stage. So yeah, that's definitely played a lot in my life.
So started off as DJ, now big party planner. How did that transition
So I started as a young child. I was 13. Started as a DJ company. Came to college at Arizona State University, sitting in class, MCO 110, Mass Comm 110. I sat there and I said, I got it. I'm good at this DJing thing. This is pretty cool. I'm like, I'm going to just turn this DJ thing into a business. Hired 9 DJs, was working my tail off every single Friday, Saturday, and then, of course, during the week a little bit here and there. And I'm like, man, I got this greatest job. And then I started working at a bar. And then I was like, wow, you can actually run the bars. I wasn't even 21 at that point. And I started running 2 bars locally to Tempe, Arizona. And from that, I just kept people wanted to hire us to do more and more, and I started booking some entertainers at that time, and I did a deal with MTV Spring Break in 1995. I was the local rep,
Wow.
and that kind of changed the game for me. Internships are great. I started interning everywhere I possibly could, and that MTV internship changed, Lake Havasu changed my life, and I said, you know what, I can do this. And different than most, I was able to actually bring people to a party, control the party, make the party live, and then start over the next day. I wasn't beat like everybody else. It was like, I can't do that again for another year. For me, it was like, just get right back up and do it again.
That's really cool, man. So entrepreneur from a young age. Where'd the spirit come from, man?
Yeah, it's my mom owned her own business, and I get a lot of it from her, and that drive, and just constantly, she in that LA traffic we were talking about, literally just would drive hours to work, hours home. And we're lucky because we don't have to drive an hour to work here. You can drive 5 minutes to work and it's all good. So, I think it came from her. My dad was always a hard worker too, and I think it rubbed off on both my brother and I. So.
Okay, as an adult then, mentors, anybody that helped shape, mold you aside from your mom?
My mentors are getting a nugget from everyone. If I could take one nugget from, whether it's great authors, great books, great seminars that I go to. I belong to a group called the Entrepreneurs Organization. It's really helped me. Just different things like that. Getting that one nugget every single time and just taking that and building off of that. And it's surprising how they all come together to help shape who you are. So, it's. My dad used to always tell me, you got to enjoy your life. You got to enjoy what you do. And here I am enjoying my life, and I don't work a day in my life.
Love it. Last question. Best piece, you say tidbits and nuggets. Best nuggets that you can give to my audience to hopefully motivate and inspire them to be better thems, if you will.
I would say that it's so cliche, but it's a song. If at first you don't succeed, dust yourself off and try again. And it's so funny, and as cliche as it sounds, it's the truth. I can't tell you how many times I don't succeed, but I get right back up. And there's a couple things. You asked me for one, but I'm gonna give you a couple.
I'm with it.
We have some things here in the office that we stick by, and it's in our manuals. It's don't ever assume. When you assume, it always goes the wrong direction. So I really try to instill that with the people here, is you can't assume. And I think the other thing is, when you make a mistake, take responsibility. It's when you say, it's on me, I messed that up, I'm gonna fix it, here's what went wrong, people respect you so much more. So that's really the nuggets that I got. So
I love it, man.
Yeah.
So what is Steve up to nowadays? What you doing?
What is Steve up to? I don't know. Let me find out. Hold on. What you up to? All right, let me tell you. I am. So I just had a third child. So I got Connor Cash as my first child. Jet Colton is my second child, and my little baby girl Harper Riley. So she's 4 months old. Super exciting. We're done. Our family's over.
That's it.
My wife and I have. We built a great company here, and I think at this point it's just really tightening up the wheels and just driving as far as we can, and we have some festivals that are planned for next year. We have keep taking all the different pieces of SLE and just growing all of those, and taking our great staff that we have and motivating them to get to the next level.
Cool. If they want to follow you, or if they want to follow Steve Levine Entertainment, how can they do that?
So they can follow me at SLE Prez. SLEPREZ, Steve Levine Entertainment on Facebook, and SL Entertain, is that right?
Yes.
I think it's. I don't want to say no. It's SL Entertain is our stuff, and I'm available. You can email me, Steve at SL Entertainment. I get emails all the time. I try to check them all. It may take a few days to get back. As you know.
I was gonna say, I can attest to that.
But I try to respond to everyone. It takes some time, but it's and that's one more tidbit I learned from somebody else just recently, is everybody is busy. You too.
Absolutely.
Everyone's busy. If you don't get an answer, if I email you and don't get a response, email again and email again and email again. It's the only way I have a chance of getting a response.
Right.
And you can't be, people miss things. Everyone's got to live something called life. And that's what we all do. And if you don't stay on top of it, then you're never going to get a response. So email me till you get a response. Email whoever you're trying to reach till you get a response. That's the way to go. So,
Steve.
Yeah.
Thank you very much,
Absolutely.
man. That was awesome. That concludes another episode of Tank's Treasure Box. Make sure Steve's contact information is below, so make sure you go to his Twitter page, Facebook, follow him. They're doing some awesome events here in Arizona, and if you're abroad, hey, follow him anyway. Maybe they'll bring an event to your area, because I think he works outside of Arizona too. But, so, make sure you like it, subscribe, and we will see you later for Steve Levine, Tank Jones, Tank's Treasure Box. Take care, everybody.
Thanks.